The Philippine national team is famous around the country for their feats, most notably their victory back in 2010 against Vietnam. What people don't know is that football in the Philippines goes way back. Back in the Spanish colonial period, football was already gaining popularity in the Philippines. Although it is not clear if the Spaniards were the ones who introduced it, either way, the popularity of football in the Philippines could be attributed to the Filipino game called sipa, which had similarities to football. During this era, a Filipino football player by the name of Paulino Alcantara became known. He gained popularity in Spain, playing for the Barcelona Football Club. He would later return to play for the Philippines, winning the country's most dominant win in the international football scene. The popularity of football continued in the Philippines, earning the country's top spots in the international scene and having a high number of attendees in local games. This lasted until the start of the Second World War. The war destroyed football fields throughout the country. The number of Filipino players declined, and at the same time, basketball's popularity rose. The addition of basketball to the physical education curriculum in local schools contributed to the sport's popularity. Consequently, football's following dwindled. It was not only in the international level that the Philippine football scene was suffering from. The games played locally started to wither as well. The country's football association struggled to make ends meet in a financial basis. The professional players of the sport started to explore other options due to football not being sustainable enough. In other words, basketball had what football didn't: money. In an effort to revitalize football in the country, the Philippine Football Association launched an aggressive grassroots program called Kasibulan. The aim of grassroots is to instill football to the younger generation who will eventually grow up and be a part of the football scene. Eventually, the PFA reorganized and was renamed to the Philippine Football Federation, aimed to create more regional grassroots programs across the nation. Major changes were made, and the PFF created more leagues and facilities, and the name ASCALs was coined. All these, of course, with the help of private sectors and FIFA itself. Eventually, Dan Palami took over as the manager of the national team. He immediately hired coaches from abroad and initiated a program to scout the best homegrown talents, and also Filipino foreign players. These efforts resulted to one of the biggest upsets back in 2010, when ASCALs beat the defending champions in the knockout stages of the Suzuki Cup. The success for the Philippine national team kept on coming. They made history by qualifying into tournaments and sometimes actually getting into the semis. On 2016, the Philippine national team landed its highest ranking during the time, and on April 2018, the ASCALs reached its highest in history, going from 115th to 130th in the FIFA World Ranking, ranking second in all of Southeast Asia. With all the recent achievements of Philippine football, it still has more to offer to the Filipino people. Their recent growth and achievement deserve praise and attention. Hopefully, football in the country may get bigger, and eventually, the national team may reach new heights.